With the Cowboys leading 17-14 late in the fourth quarter, the Packers drove the ball down to the 1-yard line. Green Bay quarterback Bart Starr would call the team's final timeout with 16 seconds left on 3rd and goal.
It wasn't Lombardi's call, it was Starr's call. That he thought he was gonna carry the ball and he was gonna win it or lose it. He wasn't gonna put it on anybody else. He told Lombardi, and Lombardi says, let's get the hell out of here, just run it.
They just had more people up the middle pushing than we had stopping, and George really could do nothing about that. I was there trying to help Jethro and Leroy and Chuck Halley, and we didn't hold them. They scored.
I think we got cheated, obviously. I think we were a better team. We should have played better. We only scored on goofy fluke plays. We didn't grind anything out.
It was the quietest ride home on that plane. We just wanted to get back to Dallas.
I think we all resolved the fact that we lost that game, and we never wanted to go into a game where we thought we would be out snookered again,
It was just devastating. And we carried that, I think we carried that loss into next season.
Due to a copyright that the University of Kentucky held, Marquette's mascot was left without a name.
We come to the first game against the Chinese national team, and I am informed by the administration that I'm going to come out, burst out of the box, and get a basketball. 2 cheerleaders are going to lift me up, and I'm going to dunk the basketball, and then I could go interact with the crowd.
And you can hear on the highlight tape John Owen, the public address announcer, saying in the background, "We need a name for this thing," or words to that effect, quite literally. And that was sort of the introduction to, we've got this thing here, and we don't yet have a name when they'd unveiled it.
I know, kids that are in school right now are going to look back and be like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. But we actually thought it was kind of cool, and people are excited about it. But when I look now, it just looks like a big, gigantic Muppet.
It looked a lot like some of the characters that you'd see on Saturday morning children's shows.
Some people really liked Bluto. Some people thought Bluto was a little bit silly. I don't remember ever receiving any hostility over Bluto. I think Bluto was not offensive to the point of being a bit comical. I think people either didn't understand Bluto or they were amused by Bluto. I don't remember Bluto ever being a particularly controversial figure.
I remember questions of what exactly is he and what does he have to do with the proud warrior tradition.
A lot of people probably felt like, as long as they're still the Warriors, who cares what the mascot is?
I know that our alumni office got a lot of letters about people and say, what is the significance of this?
It was meant to bring sort of levity and sort of crowd motivation to the games.
I played basketball when I was in college. I was a student athlete at the University of Virginia when scholarships were really just starting to be handed out for women's athletes. So it was a very different time. Women's basketball it didn't even resemble what we have today. There weren't as many good players. There weren't as many good teams. There were nobody in the crowds. There was no television. There was no air travel if you had to go to a game. So it's come a very, very long way in a relatively short period of time.
They need to continue to see what the focus is and not lose sight of creating open doors for the people that are following them behind them, because there's still inequities, even with Title IX. But the exposure to me is the biggest advantage that women's sports is enjoying, I think, today. You need 10 hands to score a basketball, and whether it's on the men or the women's side. And the ball does not discriminate against gender.
At Marquette, they know about a basketball team, but there's another team making their own history. A team in unknown territory, a place where not even coaches can speak from experience. A group driven by a 3-word mantra: school, soccer, social. Players who lace up every day, proudly clad in blue and gold. Each one knows a simple kick can decide a game, but a precise kick can define a legend. This is Marquette soccer. This is Kicks.
St. John's head coach David Mazur and Coach Bennett are good friends off the field, but when the first whistle blows, they don't always see eye to eye.
No, he's racking him from freaking behind. He's racking him from behind. David, you haven't stopped all game. He's hitting him from behind. He hasn't stopped all day shouting at you, and now we're not getting him. I said two things. David, I said two things. He hits him from behind. Yes!
The Golden Eagles would cap off their scoring barrage in the 73rd minute to ice the Blue Demons with a 4-0 shutout, a victory that would send the Blue and Gold to the Big East quarterfinals.
We helped Charlie be officially now the most successful goalkeeper in Marquette history.